Okay, community, we're excited to bring you a brand new speaker. This is her first time speaking to our community. So we want to welcome Reverend Dr. Renée Leboa. And she's going to be speaking to us today with Bringing Back the Joy of Christmas, a Sacred Reconnection. So, Dr. Renée, we're excited that you're here today and speaking to us from the first time. For the first time, we had a little bit of opportunity to speak with you earlier today to learn a little bit about you. So, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. And a little bit about Dr. Renée's bio here is Reverend Dr. Renée Leboa has a doctorate in consciousness and over 30 years of study in metaphysics, world religion, and addiction recovery. And as a mental health LGBTQ advocate, Dr. Renée offers wisdom rooted in both personal experience and academic depth. She empowers individuals through her memoir and transformative My Story program, guiding them toward healing and self-discovery. So, without further ado, we want to turn the time over to Rev. Dr. Renée. And again, we want to welcome you and thank you for speaking to us today. And we look forward to the message that you're going to share with us. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Yay, the floor. Thank you so much for having me. And just let us remember to send out some healing energy for Reverend Mitch. And with great gratitude, I'm here and I feel honored. I've met some of you already. And so I'm excited. I love I love what you guys stand for. And so I'm grateful to be here. I'm also grateful to share with you some of my thoughts about this coming season based on, we've been through a lot. We were these past few years, not that we haven't been through a lot before that, but it seems like everything culminated into these past let's say 5-6 years, and it has been really really stressful for a lot of people and very traumatic, and there's been loss. And we go into the holiday season, and I found myself even thinking about the war and thinking about the current situation, and like you were talking about people who are without this season. And I found myself thinking about, as consciousness students, as the students that we are who stand in truth and light, how can we, from our responsibility to shine the light, be more focused? Because that is really the only way that we make a change, correct, is to come from within. And so I decided I wanted to dig into this as not just, oh, it's all about master teacher Jesus, but it's also about us, because we carry that holy light within us. And so I want to tell you a little story. When I was a child, Christmas to me was magic, like most children. And I swear to you, to this day, I really did hear reindeer on the roof. And I would stay up all night long, and I would just listen and listen and be in my little bed. And I would listen, and I was certain there was reindeer on the roof. And I'm going to stand by that. I don't care what anybody says. And but as we get older, it kind of loses that magic, right? Because that type of Christmas is really for children. And I think we have a tendency to lose that inner light and inner spark, especially when we're tired and we're worn out. And it can be challenging for us to stay in that gift of giving, and it's giving from our soul, giving from that divine sacred holiness that is us, as us, and then moves through us. When in 2006, you were talking about, Doug, you were talking about how it just combines and it piles on. In 2016, my life as I knew it imploded, and I truly was left with nothing. And it was devastating, as I've been a student of of truth for over 30 years. And here I am sitting almost right back where I started. And I really lost faith in this teaching. At one point, I'm like, this stuff just doesn't work. How could it work if I'm right here? How can it work if I'm right here again? Well, the truth is that it continues to work, as we know. It continues to work, that faith. And I was thinking about Myrtle Fillmore just the other day about how pray without ceasing, pray without ceasing. And so I did. It was almost like an opportunity to start over, start over, start over. And then what it brought to me was living intentionally from this moment forward. I live intentionally. Everything I do is with intention, not by default. And because life can come at you, and my childhood was very horrible. And so I want to bring a light. So I wanted to talk about what the word um, light means. The biblical word light, it's a metaphor for truth, knowledge, and wisdom. So we are that, which is truth, knowledge, and wisdom. In the Bible, the light has always been a symbol of holiness, goodness, knowledge, wisdom, grace, hope, and the revelation that God is present within us as us. And we are illuminated when we stand in the light. Just so when you were doing that meditation, you said take a breath in and just relax into that space. And it's almost as if we let go of everything out here and we truly move into that sacred place within. I felt it. I hope you felt it. Your words were very powerful to me. Take a breath in and just, and I think if we do that throughout the day, whenever we feel that angst coming up, to remember that we are walking a path, not just for ourselves, but for the future. We're walking a path to honor our ancestors. We are walking a path to stand as this beacon, almost a pillar of light, and the presence of knowing that we can share with those that come in contact with us. I think it was Michael Beckwith who said, let me be the living face of God for someone today. Just think about that. And as you were talking about the family that was struggling or is struggling, you are the face of God for that person. You are that energy of holy light. You came into their life as an answer to prayer. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's so beautiful that we can be that for another soul. Right now, the world is turned upside down, as we know. Some people are terrified of what could happen. I've just been praying with a lot of people who they really don't know what to think. They don't know what to feel at this point. Excuse me. And I like to remind them that it's always been true that the only thing we have is right here, right now, this present moment awareness. We're all here together right now. The only thing that matters is our connection right here, right now, because we don't have yesterday. We don't have 10 minutes from now. We have now. And that creates a focus, that creates an intentional thought process that says, I'm going to, right? The Buddhist monks, they are very present. They have a lot of rituals that I really care for because it reminds me to come back to that place of Zen peace and Zen purpose. One of the things I heard was really, really beautiful is that at the end of the night, they wash their water cup out and they turn it upside down and they take their shoes off and they place them to rest in preparation that if they pass, everything is in alignment and has been treated with peace and grace. I don't know about you, but when I go to bed at night, sometimes I'm like, I have a lot of animals. And so I'm like, move over, scoot over, and I've got a cat sitting on my head and all over the place. And sometimes, I do my meditation on the phone. and I do the calm, or I do the, the white music, green music, whatever all that is. And lately I've been more focused to remember to take into my slumber all that's needed to heal and to focus and to realign my thoughts and heal my traumas so that I can be more present for someone else. As we know, our traumas can get flipped at any point in time. It happens even when we are students of truth. It happens, and so ours, and I'll only speak for myself, mine is when I notice that that is happening, I go back to the beginning, I go back to prayer, I go back to remembering who I am, whose I am. And Myrtle Fillmore, just so you know, is a huge shero of mine. Love her. And she really was an inspiration to me about no matter what was happening, she stayed true to prayer. Ernest Holmes wrote, faith is an idea so sure of itself that nothing and no thing can rock it from its foundation. I have faith in humanity. I have faith that we are pillars of light. I have faith that this season we can bring back the joy of Christmas. The joy of Christmas can be in giving, it can be embracing someone, it can be just in being present for someone who needs an ear. It can be in helping a family. It can be in healing your own pain. It can be sitting in what wants to be healed. One of the things that it says in, I think it's the Jewish tradition, is that the Hebrew word for holy is Kadesh, and hopefully I'm saying it that right, which means to set apart. So we set ourselves apart in a divine sense, not apart from others, but apart from that which draws us down in consciousness. Jesus said, turn away, turn the other cheek. It wasn't turn the other cheek so we could get smacked on the other side. It was turn the cheek and turn away from the problem. Turn away from the problem and back to truth. I know that I'm speaking to the choir here. I know you all know this. We all know this. And so this season is a time of remembering who we are. I think might be Dale Worley, might be his song. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. And you say you support each other through prayer. I have a prayer partner who, when I go and I start a kvetching, she'll let me do it for about 5 minutes, and then she'll say, "Oh, honey, I think you've forgotten who you are." And the truth is, we are radiant beings of light living in a human world. That will never change. That will never change. Jesus, prophet Jesus, master teacher, was the living example of what we are. We are his offspring. He is our great, 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 great. He is the way shower. And so we are the way shower in our own lives for someone. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I just want to give you an example. I have a dear friend, Reverend Christy Snow. I don't know if you know her. She has had a home here in Charlotte for like 15 years, and she has moved up to her family home in the mountains. And here sits this house with 15 years full of stuff packed and some of the old church stuff, and it's all there. And she's been going through, and she thought, oh, this is just going to take a short time to go through this and move everything up the hill. No. And so as time goes on, she was just like getting more and more desperate. And physically, I'm not what I once was. I can't tote around boxes and pull dressers and couches up and down stairs anymore. But I called yesterday to check on her, and she was in tears. She says, I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired, and I don't know how I'm going to do this. And there were men there helping with the furniture. And I had a whole day planned, that I was going to do this, that, and the other thing. And there were things that needed to get done. And I chucked it all. And I came zooming up in front of her house, and she burst into tears, and she threw herself on me, and I just held her, and I said, it's okay. It's okay. What can I do to help you? And basically we sat on the floor and we went through boxes and threw stuff away. And to her, that was the biggest gift because I helped her focus. So what we think is a miracle and what we think is giving is maybe different from what somebody else needs. And so along with being the light of the one, ask, what can I do for you? How can I support you? What is the best way to support you? I have a friend who just had knee surgery and he's a little cranky right now. And I have a tendency to call, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? And so yesterday he says, you know how you could help me? And this is how we talk to each other. You know how you could help me? And I said, what? He says, stop calling. As he's trying to sleep. And I'm like, okay, that's what he needs, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't take offense. We cannot take offense when somebody does not receive our gift in the way that we think they should receive our gift. And our presence is a gift. It is a true presence. Presence, oh, yeah, that's that whole play on words. Presence is the present is a blessing. I'm trying to get to my notes here. It says, so the idea of holiness is that it's perfect and it's a dedication to the light. It's the dedication to the light. So we're walking a path that can lead us back to that joy within us because we change the world by changing our world. We change the view from our window. That was a theme that came through. I joined a group during the pandemic and, we were all stuck inside. And so this group started and it was called A View from My Window. There were no pictures of people. It was just, what are we seeing from our window? And that is really such a perfect analogy for how we view what we're seeing. What are we seeing? What are we seeing and what are we seeing from? What is our perspective, right? And when we change the way we see things, the entire landscape changes, right? You're going down a road and on this side there's this beautiful row of corn and on this side there's a plowed field. Two different perspectives. You're standing right there in the middle of both, and so you get to decide which way you turn. One of the most important things for me is to live in gratitude. I live in gratitude. I was a teenage mother. I was homeless. I was a drug addict. I went through many experiences of abuse in all the forms, and I had a belief about myself that wasn't true. So when I say remember who you are, I was this person the whole time. I was me. This was me because I can only be one me. This was me the entire time. And somebody helped me to reveal that truth. They spoke a truth to me and they said, well, I don't believe any of that about you. You're not your actions. I've never heard anything like that before in my life. And they all would always say things like, no, you're magnificent. And they would focus on the things that I was doing that they saw as part of my light. Well, eventually I started believing it. And so, Doug, you adopt this family and you're being that presence in their life and you're infusing them with love, unconditional love, and whoever else, responds to that. And I know I'm coming to the end, is that we change someone's life when we live our truth. So for me, that's the joy of Christmas, is living in the present moment, ramping up my light, which I see as unconditional love and service to others, whether it's over the phone or in person, and to decorate your house if you like doing that, and let that be a source of joy. I have lights all over my house. They make me happy. And I brought out all my Christmas teddy bears. And I fill my house with things that when I look at them, they bring me joy. And Christmas music is going. And, my Christmas as a child was not always happy. It was probably a really dramatic time of the year for us in our home. And my stepfather was an alcoholic, and he was also not a nice man when he drank. And so Christmas was not always fun. Oh, and he insisted on flocking the tree. Do you know what that is? Do any of you know what it is to spray this gunk on a tree? Oh my gosh, it's horrible. And it gets all over everything, and it's sticky, and it's to make it look like the tree has been it's snow. And it would be my job to clean it up. So just that's an aside. So I my greatest wish for you is that you remember that you are, first of all, enough, that I see you, I hear you, and I know you because we are one. And that is the human condition. That's all we all want, is to be seen, to be heard, to be understood, and to be loved unconditionally. So my gift of meditation and music today is something that brings me to a sacred place of remembering who I am. It was shared with me by Edwin Gaines when I was at a minister's retreat. You guys all know who she is. Yeah, firecracker. And it blew me away. It took me to a place of sacredness, and it continues to do that to this day. So I am sharing this with you. It's by a group that I don't even know if they're still in existence, called Here to Hear, and the meditation is holy. And if you could just allow yourself to be present, to close your eyes, to breathe into it, and just let it absorb into your cells and remind you of who you are. Okay? All right. Thank you. So I hope you had a good experience of that. And thank you for joining me in that deep dive into spirit. And that concludes my my talk. And I hope I've been of value. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Dr. Renee. We so appreciate the message that you shared, and what a great reminder, the meditation video about who we really are. I mean, it's so easy to forget that, when we're locked into that daily grind of living. So, um, thank you so much for selecting that, and really for being here today to actually speak with us. We are certainly appreciative. And now you're stuck with us, so you're going to have to come back and speak to us again. So,
Yay.
so, and and hats off to Rev Mitch too for recommending you here, and so we're so grateful to him, and hopefully he gets to feeling better as well. So thank you again.